Hello friends, this video on nuclei part 19 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos till part 18 before going ahead with part 19. So let us now look at the applications of nuclear fission. So when I talk of application, one application was atom bomb, which was an application of uncontrolled chain reaction. The other one is, the good application is a nuclear reactor. So nuclear reactors to produce electricity. The other one is atom bombs to cause destructions. Now we will discuss the working and functioning of nuclear reactor in detail now. So more or less you have got the basic idea of how a nuclear fission reaction takes place. So now you have got this idea also that how nuclear energy is generated inside nuclear reactor. That also you would have got. So now let us try to see that what are the things or what are the key points which are to be kept in mind in order to construct a nuclear reactor, because we have understood that nuclear reactor works on the basis of controlled nuclear fission. So what are the factors that needs to be kept in mind to ensure a controlled nuclear fission? So before that, let us see what is a nuclear reactor. It is an arrangement to generate electricity making use of controlled nuclear fission. So what are the requirements for controlled nuclear fission in a reactor? Because what did we see so far for a fission reaction? Let us suppose if I have a target nucleus and if I have a neutron which hits this target nucleus, what happens? Daughter nuclei are formed, and along with the daughter nuclei, 3 neutrons are emitted. Right? Now these neutrons which are emitted will again hit some other target and give rise to nuclear fission reaction. So the first thing which needs to be controlled if I want to control the nuclear fission reaction is the excess neutrons need to be absorbed. These excess neutrons, if I don't want so many neutrons to be there, then I'll better get some of them absorbed, because if the neutrons are absorbed, I am left with lesser neutrons. If lesser neutrons are there, that means lesser nuclear fission reaction will be initiated. So that is one thing which I have to control. What is the other thing? The other thing is that whenever this nuclear fission reaction takes place, the neutrons which are emitted, they are extremely energetic. They have very high energy. So sometimes what happens is that if they have extremely high energy, they will just escape out, because what we want this neutron again to strike some other target, right? But if this neutron is having some excessively high energy, maybe because before it could hit the target, it will just escape out. So that is also possible. So that means you will have to slow down the neutrons, because I don't want all the neutrons to initiate nuclear fission reaction, but at the same time I want at least one neutron to initiate the fission reaction. Otherwise the reaction will get overheat itself. So the amount of energy released will be very less. Correct? So the two things which we need to ensure for a controlled nuclear fission in a reactor is that excess neutrons should be absorbed so that too much of fission reactions do not get initiated. Secondly, the neutrons when emitted should be slowed down so that they can hit the next target. Right? Now, how do we achieve these two things? Let us discuss that first. So the first point was to slow down the neutrons. So how do we slow down the neutrons? We make use of certain substances called moderators to slow down the neutrons. So what is the logic that we use behind these moderators? So the logic which is used behind this is that, think of your carom board. So what happens in your carom board? Let us suppose you have a coin which is going real fast. What happens if you bring and make it to collide with some other coin? You have one coin which is moving extremely fast. Once it collides with another coin, this coin will also slow down. So if you have a very fast moving object, if you make it to collide with some other object, the speed of the first object will slow down to some extent. So we do a similar thing here. The neutrons which are extremely fast moving, we make them to collide with some lighter nuclei. So by elastic collision with some lighter nuclei, we gradually slow down the fast moving neutrons. Now these light nuclei are known as moderators. So moderators are light nuclei which slow down fast moving neutrons by elastic collision. So what are the commonly used moderators? Which substances are used as moderators? Water, heavy water and graphite are some of the objects which are used as moderators. Now what is the consequence of the use of moderators? Let us suppose I have used these substances so that they can elastically collide with the neutrons and it can slow them down. So what will be the consequence of the slowing down of the neutrons? The consequence will be that each of these neutrons will now be capable of hitting the next target. So the consequence will be that the multiplication factor of neutrons will increase. That means, so this was your neutron which had hit the target nucleus. Now it will form daughter nucleus. Right now I am not bothered about the daughter nucleus. Let us suppose it has formed daughter nucleus and it gives rise to 3 neutrons. Now if these neutrons were extremely energetic, in that case they will escape out. They will not hit the next target. But now if I have slowed them using moderators, that means each of them will now hit some other target nuclei. So each one of them will hit this target. Again from this we will get 3 neutrons. From this we will get 3 neutrons. From this also we will get 3 neutrons. Again these neutrons will be slowed down because of the moderator. As a result, all of them will be capable of initiating or hitting the next target. So they will again hit the next target. Now as a result, we will have so many neutrons. And this process will keep on happening. That means the multiplication factor of the neutron is increasing. Too many neutrons are coming up. So what will this cause? High multiplication factor will result in uncontrolled chain reaction. This is what was happening in an uncontrolled chain reaction, right? Now, do we want uncontrolled chain reaction in a nuclear reactor? No, we don't. We want a controlled amount of nuclear energy. So now we need something to control this reaction. So for this, we need to absorb the excess neutrons. And that is done by something called control rods. So the moderators and the control rods, these two things together in a nuclear reactor actually results in a controlled nuclear fission reaction. So what are these control rods? These are basically some rods which are inserted in the core of the nuclear reactor to absorb the excess neutrons. So here also if you see these devils which are shown here, they are performing the function of the control rods. So when you insert these control rods, they will absorb all the excess neutrons which are present. So in fact, the control rods are capable of initiating and stopping the nuclear reaction, because when the control rods are inserted, it will absorb all the excess neutrons. As a result, there will be no neutron left to start the next nuclear fission reaction. This is how it can stop the nuclear reaction also. So control rods can also start the nuclear reaction. If you take them out, you have again all the neutrons which are all capable of initiating nuclear fission reaction. So this is how these rods are capable of controlling the nuclear reaction. So control rods are normally made up of neutron absorbing materials. It decreases the multiplication factor of neutrons to a very small value. So the multiplication factor will reduce. As a result, the nuclear fission reaction will be controlled. Commonly used material is cadmium. As I said, neutron absorbing material. So cadmium has the property of absorbing neutrons. So the control rods are mostly made up of cadmium. Let us now look at the construction of nuclear reactor. So far we were talking about the principle behind the working of nuclear reactor, and I'm sure that you would have understood that. So now let us look at the construction of a nuclear reactor. However, the diagram here looks little complicated, but it is nothing complicated. It is very simple if you have understood whatever I explained you so far. Basically, if you look at this figure, this is the core nuclear reactor. So the core of the nuclear reactor basically consists of the radioactive substance which is used. So what is the radioactive substance which is used in a nuclear reactor? It is uranium-235. So the uranium is used in the form of cylindrical rods. So here if you see, there are rods made up of uranium. Inside this core you will have rods made up of uranium, and this uranium rods are inserted in a liquid, and that liquid is the moderator. So it is somewhat like this. If you look at the core, you will have uranium rods like this. So these are the uranium rods, and in the surrounding you have a liquid, and this liquid is nothing but the moderator, right? So whenever one neutron strikes this uranium rod, nuclear fission reaction starts and 3 fast moving neutrons are produced. Now before these 3 fast moving neutrons could escape, they undergo elastic collision because of the moderator. So they get slowed down before they could encounter the second rod. So this is my first rod, this is second rod, this is third rod. So the 3 neutrons which are emitted from here, they will get slowed down because of the moderator before encountering the second rod. As a result, fission will occur. Now the geometry of the core is made in such a way that only 1 out of the 3 neutrons which are emitted strike the next rod. So that is how it becomes controlled. The core is constructed in such a way that all the 3 electrons will not be able to hit the next target. Only 1 of them will be able to hit. Now, what do you do to stop the reaction? Because we don't want the reaction to continue endlessly. So how do we stop the reaction? For that we have control rods. So here if you see, these are the control rods, these rods. So what do? We insert control rods inside this. Now as soon as you insert the control rods, it will absorb all the neutrons which are present there. Now if all the neutrons are absorbed, there will be nothing which can initiate the nuclear fission reaction, and the fission reaction stops then and there. Right? Now, so this is how the functioning takes place inside the core, and this is the core part. So in the core, the function is performed by the uranium cylindrical rod, moderator, and the control rods, right? Now in this way, large amount of energy is getting released. Now how do you take this energy out from the nuclear reactor? So inside the core, so much of energy is getting generated, but how do you withdraw this energy from the core? So in order to withdraw the heat from the core, water at very high pressure is passed through it. So if you have a steam generator here. Here if you see, this is a steam generator. So water at very high pressure is made to pass through this core, right? So when hot water passes through it, it produces steam in the steam generators, and this steam is used to run the turbines, which in turn produce electricity. So here you have your turbine, which in turn will produce the electricity. You remember the electric generators, right? In electric generators, what happens? That movement of the turbines, that is the mechanical energy, gradually gets converted into the electrical energy. So here, how do we move the turbine? The turbine is moved by the steam. And from where do we get steam? Steam is generated from this steam generator. So this is the turbine and this is the steam generator. Here if you see, steam is generated which will move the turbine. So how do we take the heat out from here? Water at very high pressure is made to pass through this. So this water will take the high amount of heat which is produced inside the core along with it. It will bring the heat with it. As a result, in this steam generator, steam will be generated because so much of heat has been withdrawn from the core. So the steam which is produced will be used to run the turbines, and the turbines in turn will be used to produce the electricity. So this process will keep on continuing as long as uranium-235 on the rods do not finish, because the rods are made up of uranium-235. So gradually the uranium-235 are decaying, right? So the amount of uranium-235 will keep reducing with time. Now a time will come when all the uranium-235 on the rods will get over. At that time, the rods need to be replaced in the nuclear reactor. Right? So this is how the nuclear reactor works, and when the electricity which is generated is useful in the locality. Right? So this is one of the very important application of controlled nuclear fission reaction. So now we will look at some of the advantages and disadvantages of nuclear reactor. Well, when talking about the advantages, the energy released is extremely large. So a large amount of energy is getting generated. Needs fuel in extremely small quantity. So what was the fuel which you are using in nuclear reactors? It is the uranium-235. So do you think that a huge amount of uranium-235 is needed? No. Even a small amount of uranium-235 will initiate the fission reaction when it is hit by a neutron. So the amount of fuel which is needed is extremely small. On the other hand, there are some disadvantages. Firstly, however, the amount of fuel involved is small, but the fuel is extremely radioactive. It is highly radioactive and extremely hazardous to all life forms. Now, since the amount is small, but since it is so very harmful that inside the nuclear reactors, or in fact inside the core, the handling has to be done with lot of care, because it is harmful to everybody, to all kind of life, for human beings and for everybody. So wherever the nuclear reactor is operating, lot of care needs to be taken so that it does not cause any harm to any life form. Not only that, there is a lot of accumulation of radioactive waste, because in this case, as you saw in the nuclear fission reaction, the products which are formed are also radioactive. So as the nuclear fission reaction keeps continuing, lots and lots of radioactive products are formed. So as a result, we are accumulating more of radioactive waste, which is again harmful. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.